Welcome back to Zach's Garage. In today's video, we're finally going to be starting some construction on the boat, long at last. What we're going to be doing is taking some measurements and then cutting out our foam template for the new transom we're going to build. Okay, so what I'm doing here now is I'm taking some measurements for the transom to start cutting out my template. So I got the height from here to here, top to bottom completely, and then I got the overall width all the way over at that edge to this edge, which was around 42 inches and a quarter. And then also I got this little notch at the top, how far that is from right there, which is about 3 inches, and then the width of the narrowest part at the top, which is about 15 inches. And then also on these little side tabs that come out, the one on the right is actually taller than the one on the left. And the reason why is because on the outside the hole comes in a little more right here from where the ladder sits, and so this piece is actually a little higher up, or a little lower, sorry, actually. So I measured this height from here to here, as well as this height from here to there. And then there's a little notch at the very bottom here. So I got the width of how much that is, which is about 13 inches, and then the depth of how much that is at the edges, which is about 3/4 of an inch. So I've got those measurements. I'm going to go ahead and start marking them out on a foam board. So then I'll cut out the foam board, put it in here, and then all of the little adjustments I need to make, I'll make on the foam board since it's easy to work with. Once I've got it perfect, then I'll cut it out on the plywood. Okay, so you can see I've got the nice big piece of the foam board laid out on top of a table here, and I've got my straight edge and tape measure, and I'm making some of the measurements. So where I'm going to make the first cut of a rectangle out is, we know our transom is wider than it is tall, and this board is 4 feet by 8 feet long. So what I'm going to do is, we need 42 inches of width, which is less than 4 feet, so I'll get that out of cutting this this way. And the height that I needed was 27 inches. So from the end here, I'm going to go in that much. Now, just to be safe and give myself a buffer, I'm going to go ahead and add an inch to that and cut it at 28 inches instead of 27. So that way, if we need to whittle it down more, we can, but if we need that extra to fill some space, we'll have it. So, marking it here at about 28 inches. And then once I got that marked, I can just use this guy right here, which is really nice for making sure your lines are straight. And you can line it up at the edge, and it has a perfect right angle, so you know that your line's going to be perfectly straight going across it. Just line it up with the Sharpie marker, right? Now, just take the Sharpie. Now I'm going to go ahead and start cutting. Now the next cut I'm going to make is going to be at 42 inches and a quarter. Alright, so you can see we've got the next part cut out here. sort of capturing the top, cutting off those sides. So I'm going to cut off that piece and then the other. And then I think I'm going to go ahead and put it over in the boat just to kind of get a little bit of a test fit to see how it's looking so far. And then the next piece I'll do after that is cutting those angles right there and there. As it turns out, it was entirely useless to try and test fit it in while it was still flat at the bottom. So I'm going to go ahead and cut out those wedges off the bottom now. Alright, we've got the last cut, or last lines drawn here. I think we got it just about right. Had a little bit of finicking around here. Had to make sure I got everything centered right. Should be good to go, so I'm going to go ahead, cut all that out. Alright, should be ready to go. Okay, so we've got the foam board in there, and let me tell you, it fits pretty darn good. I'm pretty impressed. Now there is a few spots, like over here, it comes up a little bit where we'll want it to be out just a little more at the edge. And then also right here, this will need to be cut down just a little more. You can see where that line is a little bit lower than where it's at. On this side, kind of the same thing, just a tiny bit shaved off there. And then at the bottom it might also need a tiny bit shaved off. Other than that, fits pretty good, fits the top almost perfectly. So, really impressed. So I'll write down those notes for those minor adjustments, and we'll see how it looks after that. And that is where we're going to end today's video. I just want to take a moment to thank my 46 subscribers. These are unprecedented times. Just last video, it was only 43. That means 3 subscribers in the last 3 days. That's a subscriber per day. At this rate, it'll only take, 1 million divided by 365. It'll only take 2,739 years before I reach 1 million subscribers. And you bet your sweet bippy I'm going to have that 1 million subscriber celebration video. So stay tuned to that. Mark it on your calendar, 2,739 years from now. And I will see you then. In other news, coming up in the next video, we are going to be using that template we made in this video and cutting the transom out of the actual plywood that it's going to be. So stay tuned for that. And I do want to say, if you guys did enjoy this video, please leave me a thumbs up down below. And if you are ever so compelled to want to see all the future videos, you can subscribe and click that notification bell to make sure you get notified and not miss a single one. And of course, to help contribute towards the 1 million subscriber campaign, that will take hopefully less than 2,700 years. And thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.
hit that 10-minute mark, boys.